Hey guys, what's going on? I'm going to do a recap of this trade today, which was awesome. It went from 1.8 to 6, which is a 233% gain in about 20 minutes. So if you're interested in learning more about this, check out the link in the description below. I'll put a link to this site, which is our Sidekick Trader site. It's basically a 3-day trial, and then you can come and join us on these trades. They're a lot of fun. They're really profitable. Unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to actually take this one today, but I thought I'd run through it and go through a few of the things that people have been asking me about. There seems to be some confusion about what these alerts are and how you trade them. So a lot of people trade options on SPY, but not that many people are trading options on SPX. So I thought I'd go over that a little bit. A couple of guys have been asking me questions about that. And there's some definite fallacies that people think about the difference between SPY and SPX that I think is useful if you're considering joining the service. So let's get started. I'll go through the alert really quickly today. So if we go to the Discord right here, I'll scroll back up. There was only one alert today, which is that one. It was 233%. It was SPX puts at 1.8. So I've had a few people ask me, what does this actually mean? So Sir Goldman basically alerted at 9:55 my time that he's buying 3,900 puts at 1.8. And so on Thinkorswim, it's really easy to do this. All you do is you go SPX up here. It pulls up the SPX chart. This is just for today. You go over to here. You find the day's charts. I noticed one guy earlier I was talking to, he had forgotten to put the strikes on, so you want to put them all so you can see all strikes. If you don't, if you just put on 4, you just see a small portion of the number of strikes. Make sure you're looking at all the strikes. And then you pick the date, and these trades are always the same day. So tomorrow would be the 21st, so pull those up like this. And so one trick with these alerts is that you always want to be going to close to the money, right? So you want to be, let's just do SPY really quick. So you can play them on SPY as well. I think that's where people get confused a little bit, so hopefully I can kind of show you. Okay, so let's look at the trade first, and then we'll look at the options, the different options for the options, if that makes sense. All right, so SPX. So today at 9:55, which was, sorry, 10:55, which was right here. Actually, I have it pulled up right here. So BLC in the Discord kindly plots these out each time. He follows it meticulously. He's like a record keeper. So 11:55 Eastern time, Goldman put out this alert to buy the 3,900 puts at 1.8. For people that are fairly new to options trading, that 1.8 means that each contract would cost you $180. So that's the minimum position size that you could have in today's trade would be $180 for these $3,900 puts. If that makes sense. Now, this trade started here, 11:55. This is a 1-minute chart. It worked its way all the way down, gaining value in these contracts until right down here where they were 233% more expensive. So that was the profit on these runners. Now, people have been asking me, is that what you'd make? And the answer is it varies a lot. So some people would take profits right away, like here, like me. I would probably just sell everything right here and be done for the day. Or you can do what Goldman does, which he just lets this run down and takes profits at the end of each one of these arrows. So he scales out slowly, which is a smart way to do it. It's also a difficult way to do it if you're impatient like me. So you'd scale out at the end of that arrow, and at the end of that arrow, and then BL out at the end of that arrow. And that's what these numbers here mean. 28%, you took profit at 28%, you took profit at 111%, and they took final profits at 233%. And so that's what gives rise to this number here. So it's not like he held the whole position, 233%. I want to make that really clear because it matters, right? I mean, there's a big difference if you're holding one contract from 10 all the way. And so as the trade progresses, he writes the word scale, and there's some confusion with that too, even amongst the guys inside Sidekick Traders. Scale means he sells some of his portion of his contracts, right? So he enters and then he writes scale, so that means he sold some of them, typically 1 or 2 out of 10, usually seems to be what he's doing. So he made 28% on the first couple of contracts, then he kept it, just letting it ride, and he scaled again. So scaled again, it always means sell. He's never scaling in, he's always scaling out. And he got 111% on some of those contracts, and then he still had 3 left at the $6 mark, or 233%. So that's what scale means, that's how you use the alerts. It's really straightforward. We also have a whole strategy here, so he goes into all his different rules and what these things mean. And if you're in the Discord already, it's definitely worth checking these out, reading through them, making sure you understand them, because it'll make the trades a lot easier. So that was the trade today. Let's have a look at SPX. So I'll put a link in the description actually for the people that have done SPX options and SPY options. So most people trade SPY options, right? It's nothing mysterious. They go into the into their chart here, and they put in SPY, and this was the move down, by the way. It was like this area that was played today. And then so trading SPY options close to the money, typically this is the sort of prices for the next day you're looking at. So 164-ish, it's $164 per contract. And so there's this idea that if you go to SPX, that somehow you need a lot more capital. And so you go to SPX and try and get stuff. Now you can see SPX for tomorrow around here is the same. Right? So it's a lot more expensive. So each contract is 17 times 100. So each contract near the money or at the money is a lot more expensive, 10 times more expensive usually. But with Goldman, we're not trading these contracts, so you don't have to spend $1,800 per contract. You go out of the money. So we're buying stuff that's around here. So you're still only spending a couple $100 per contract and not $2,000 per contract or $1,800 per contract around here. So it's a misnomer that you need 10 times the money to trade SPX than you do SPY, just because the two charts are 10 times different. And so if you look on the right here, they are 10 times different. This is about 39.56 on SPX, and then if we go to SPY, about 39.4. It's about 10 times different. And the contracts do cost 10 times more, but you don't have to play at the money, right? So you can play them so that you're still only spending a few $100s per contract. And that's what we're doing with these SPX alerts. So a common question I'm getting is, do I need to have a huge account to play them? And the answer is no, you don't. You're still only spending $200 per contract, roughly. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, because we're taking the cheaper contracts on SPX. And if you want to learn more, I'll leave this link on the Webull page to basically read through about the difference between SPX options and SPY options. I think a lot of people are sometimes put off with SPX just because they're really like, ooh, what is this expensive thing? And they're just not that familiar with it a lot of the times. So anyway, if you like what you're seeing here and you're not a member, come and join the trial. It's a 3-day trial. You can cancel anytime. We're currently on a 12 win streak over the course of the last few days, so typically 1 to 2 trades a day, sometimes 3 or 4. Occasionally there'll be no trades, but it's, not very likely. And so Lance is also doing some swing and day trade alerts and futures. We don't talk enough about those. We really should. The real focus at the moment has been on day trading these fast scalp trades because they've been so profitable and the win rate's so high. Typically 20% to 500% returns. I've been documenting these in videos. You can go into the channel and look through and see it all for yourself, back test it. We've been doing a pretty good job showing that this is the real deal and the real thing. So definitely come and check it out. I'll leave a link in the description, both for the page on the SPX option, SPY option stuff, and also a link to join the 3-day trial and come in and talk to us directly in there all about this stuff. So hopefully that's helpful, and I'll talk to you guys soon.